Hey everybody, Brian Fonvia here, back at it again with another set of D&D stories, and today we're exploring the third part to the concepts of joke characters becoming a total powerhouse. That's right, that goofy little hamburger helper over there is finally becoming the God King of Beef. Join me today, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone and anyone, as we explore this brand new episode of What Joke Character Has Become a Total Powerhouse Part 3. And if you have a joke character that became one, make sure to leave it down in the comments below. There was a guy at my table who named his character Mario Water Seeker. His whole gimmick is that he needed water, or else he would rage. He was a barbarian. He would demolish anything the DM threw at him. Man just intimidated his way through NPCs. He said his character looked just like Mario. So imagine this 3-foot man brutalizing the fucking Kraken because it was stopping him from entering or drinking the water. I remember the DM hating him. I was the DM. I made a half-dragon dragonborn monk way of the Ascendant Dragon. His name was Aegon Wyrm. In his background, after a big battle, he was given the title of Doctor, due to how precise his punches were, just like a doctor's cut while going through a medical procedure. Ah yes, he was Dr. Aegon Wyrm. The whole point was that he was totally oblivious to the fact that everything around him was related to dragons. Now, to the point. We have a list of homebrew items called cursed items. These usually give huge advantages while giving disadvantages, and you cannot get rid of them. For example, doubling your damage dealt and received. We have a list of 100 items, and we roll a d100 whenever we get these, just to see what we take. I managed to get that 1% chance roll to get an item that doubles your unarmed strike in an improvised weapon damage dealt. But it halves the damage of your simple and martial weapons. Oh, perfect for me. I also had a necklace that was given to me by an NPC, which once per day I could activate it to make all my attacks crits for the round. But also every hit I received was gonna be a crit. So at level 5, Dr. Aegon Wyrm was able to attack, plus extra attack, plus flurry of blows for 4d6 plus dex mod, plus crit, times 2. Usually dealing something around 75 to 80. Oh, he didn't last long. The DM talked to me saying it was way too broken, and we decided to give him a quick end to his arc. He died as food for a dragon. The very first session of my Rise of Tiamat game, the party had an encounter with kobolds. They killed most of them, but the group's rogue convinced everyone to spare one of the kobolds. She then spent the rest of the campaign teaching the kobold to reject Tiamat, think for himself, and become a hero for all kobolds, as well as even teaching him how to use a musket. The party eventually adopted the kobold NPC as a kind of hireling, and that stuck with them the whole way through the Tiamat fight. And the kobold, rolling a nat 20 on a death save, sat back up and landed the killing shot on Tiamat, sending her back to the 9 hells. And the kobold's name? Well, it was Chicken Legs. He was the real hero of that game. Why did the Chicken Legs cross the road? To get the hell away from Tiamat. Not exactly a joke character, but in my last campaign, I had this amazing idea for a rogue I wanted to play with the classic, I come from nobility but my family is terrible sort of backstory, with the twist that her family actually were wonderful people, and she literally is just projecting all of her own insecurities on them. Her personal journey was to be one of her getting her head out of her own ass and learning to love who she was. Now, when the players started talking about their own characters, I noticed right away that we're all pretty squishy. Plenty of casters, support, high damage dealers, and the such, but nobody particularly tanky. So, begrudgingly, I rolled a second PC to play, wah wah. I wanted this character to be zero maintenance to roleplay, but a powerhouse in battle. So, a warforged fighter felt ideal. I put down Johnny 5, the robot from the movie Short Circuit, as the name when filling out the character sheet. I didn't initially intend for that to stick. It was a working title, but then I started making myself laugh with it. And I made Johnny 5's backstory literally the plot to Short Circuit. This soulless automaton, built to be the perfect soldier and nothing more than an obedient weapon of war, got struck by lightning, came alive and ran off to forge his own future. I still wanted him to be low maintenance to roleplay, but everyone he talked to loved him. And the more I played with him, the more I loved him and the more alive he became to me. He rapidly became the heart of the group and our moral compass. Here are some of Johnny Five's quirks. He loves to knit, makes flower crowns, enjoys bird watching, and really dislikes being submerged in water. In a way, he really did live up to his short-circuit inspiration. Rolled a Warforged fighter with the intention of him being there just to help make the combat a little bit less of a struggle. But he came alive and won everybody's hearts, including my own. I never want to have to play 2 PCs again. It's way too much work. But if I do end up in another group that lacks a nice tanky fighter type, well, Johnny Five may rise again. Alright, I got 2. I made a kobold battlemaster with the intent of him becoming a wannabe commander that nobody would listen to. To that end, I gave him a bunch of maneuvers that could only benefit other characters in combat. This was when I was inexperienced and hadn't discovered that out-of-turn actions could be quite powerful in the right hands. Well, I had the right hands. DM planned to have a reoccurring villain. Maneuvering strike let an ally block off their escape route. I would then combo with that commander's strike to strike down the fleeing villain and the DM's plans. The initiative order became more of a suggestion than a rule with my kobold. I also picked up rally, so that the healer didn't have to completely stress about reviving people. However, that kobold was nothing compared to the raw power of my Danny DeVito voiced Jawa mechanic. Oh, it was a Star Wars RPG, by the way. He was skilled enough to have reasonable chances at hacking any network. Droids, life support, and other critical systems could be shut down with a few flicks of his wrist. He could sabotage equipment by merely looking at it. He could make a working 6-person hovercraft out of a dishwasher. Oh, sure, it wouldn't last long, but it would provide an avenue of escape in a life-threatening situation. We as a party agreed that if we ever ran a sequel to that campaign, my Jawa is the one PC we don't want to run into again, despite his character arc ending with him turning to the light side. Oh boy, I made a gimmick, mostly character, based on having a crap ton of AC, but pretty much no health. Meet Pence, a halfling. I took Rogue because Dex is important to have, and multiclassed into Paladin. It was for the proficiency in both medium armor and shields, and the ability to heal myself if I took any damage, which was pretty nice. Half plate plus 2, Dex modifier maxed out at 2, plus 2 shield gives me an AC of 19. Not to mention the cleric in the party, which has Shield of Faith. Oh! Keep in mind I'm at level 2 with a total AC of 21 and 12 HP maximum, -1 to con, and a roll of 5. My Dex modifier is actually plus 4 due to various modifiers, which means I'm a rogue who can either evade or block everything while doing a boatload of damage. I have a plus 6 to hit with my rapier, and because of magical items, if that hits, I can take another swing with disadvantage. Oh, big yikes. I made a centaur hexbow warlock in a Ravenka campaign. It was a joke because one of the other players made a half-minotaur centaur because he wanted to basically just be a pony. Ugh. Because reasons. Nah, we're all aware. Anyway, my character was the uncle of his character and basically disappointed at his existence. I couldn't contain it. However, I ended up having the most fleshed out backstory with my bow being given to me by the Vitu Gazai and my patron being the World Tree itself. I pretty much couldn't miss with my bow and did a truckload of damage. It was my very first campaign, so I was still very new to the mechanics. I accidentally made a barbarian sorcerer character, with the intent of making a savage elf raised by a dragon using innate magic for the fire abilities. Well, in any case, all of my information regarding the game came from TikTok memes. Oh no. As such, I accidentally became the DM's bane. You see, the first thing we fought in the campaign was a semi-immortal troll who lived in a pit in a tavern. In any case, it was beheaded. But as its body and head were about to tip over, I made the athletics check and had a high enough strength to catch the undying head The DM didn't think much of it, until I accidentally went barbarian with low int and attached the head to a stick, turning it into a morning star, which I could set on fire due to various fire spells and draconic fire breath. And that could bite people. Suffice to say, a lot of damage early on in game. DM was still okay with that, but it was clear he was trying to find ways to get me to get rid of it. However, I kept stumbling into ways to make the troll head even stronger. First by deciding to become a brewer, and accidentally making a concoction that gave the troll head a poison or disease bite. The second was unintentionally getting a cleric to bless it with properties to prevent decay and the like. The final straw was when I got my hands on silver that was magical in nature, and managed to convince the Genasi twin blacksmiths to dip the head in it. The DM even tried to get me to fail the rolls by making the DCs high, and I still passed. So suffice to say, very early on in game, I got a morning star with a living troll head that bit people, counted as magical for the purpose of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage, and had extra fire and poison damage on top. I could pretty much solo any being in 1 to 2 hits without raging. Also, did you know that was kind of a, well, not really a real tactic, but similar tactic in real life? Yeah, we would catapult heads over, well, anything, in order to poison enemies if they ever landed on them and bit them by accident. Yeah, well, welcome to disease warfare. Not good, but I love this character. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA, back at it again, checking in after the vid. I almost cracked up to a couple of these, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I had tears rolling down my face for those ones as well. That said, if you like the content, please leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and, of course, leave a comment down below telling us about your joke character. If you can make me crack up and laugh during a video, you win. That's the goal. Make me pee myself laughing. Do it. But don't do it too hard, because if you want to meet me, you can come say hi to me over in the description below, brianvonva.com. At the very bottom, you can find my Twitch, Newgrounds, Twitter, all of it. I stream a lot, so come over and say hi. And that said, I just want to end things on a positive note. There are going to be times in your life where, I don't know, plans change. You make a plan and then it changes. You make a structured settlement and it changes. You do something and you're like, oh wow, tomorrow's going to be a great day, or next week's going to be fantastic. I have it all ready to go. And it just screws up, changes, or something else goofy. There's no problem on your end. It happens. That's literally where the term "it happens" came from. It happens. You're not a bad person for it, and you're not stupid or forgetful or anything. You just had a moment where everything had to change. Things happen. It'll be all right. And I'm proud of you for basically getting it sorted to begin with, and for rolling with the punches in the end, because that's all you can do is just, well, keep on fighting with it. So don't you worry about things that happen like that. It's a part of life, part of nature, and, well, this time next year, you're not even going to remember it anyway, so it'll be all right. I love you all. Please stay safe, happy, and healthy, and bundle up, because winter is here officially in most of the states. So have fun, be safe, and we'll see you next time.